Pritikamaha. Vande Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalah Sri Kuruna Vaishnavashah Sri Rupa Sagrajatah Sahagana Raghunanitvinta Sanjivama Sadvaita Savadhuta Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devaha Sri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhantwashaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vaishya Krupa Sindhu Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Okay, devotees, we are in a very important chapter, which is very aptly titled as Devotional Service. So we are going through, Arjuna asked a very important question, how to interact, how to realize, how to understand Krishna, how to worship him. So Krishna is taking us, Arjuna, and of course all of us, into a different options Krishna is giving. Because he's so merciful. Ultimately, he wants all of us to understand him, all of us to realize. So he's starting with saying that to worship him as his original form, Shama Sundara, which we see in all the pictures and with the flute and a little bit of darkish, bluish complexion, with the Tribanga, with the peacock on his head, always with the gopis, with the cows. So that is his original form. And then he goes on that if someone is not able to understand him like that, they can also try what is called the Brahman. The Vedantis try to understand the same Krishna in a Brahman. They say this Brahman is Nirakar, Nirguna, he doesn't have a form, he doesn't have any qualities. But Krishna also explained that it's a very difficult path. It can be done, but very difficult. The chances of a lot of speculation and falling down is much more in that because you don't know. You're trying to interact with something that is undefined. So very troublesome. So then from 8 to 11, very important devotees. Maybe I had shown this, if I may just repeat this slide one more time. So 8 to 11 is very important. In 8, Krishna has already said, fix your buddhi, mana and buddhi, mind and intelligence. That is 8. Just, surrender to him. Very, very rare. All the acharyas, Guru Maharaj, if many of us might have seen the parampara, the chart of ISKCON, Gaudiya Parampara. It starts from Krishna to Brahma to Madhvacharya to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then to all the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, then all the Guru Maharaj. So that is, very, very special category. Krishna blesses them with that kind of, to surrender the mind and intelligence. And he's saying, if you cannot do that, then do 12-9. What is 12-9? That is what we are trying to do. Follow given as very nice process of bhakti. We will not do certain things. There are 4 regulative principles. We won't eat any meat. We won't be involved in any kind of intoxication. We will not be involved in any kind of unethical relationship with others. We will not do gambling. So, with that, Devotees, give me a second here. And, uh, and then in today we'll be reading 12:10. He says, if you cannot do it, just work for Krishna. This is very important, devotees. Most devotees, they're all devotees. All those 8, 9, 10, 11, all are devotees. But many fall under 9 or 10. We'll discuss today about 12:10. And then he also follows that if you even cannot do that, then cultivate some good knowledge, meditation, purification. So let us very briefly see what's going on. Okay. Devotees, are we able to read 12:10? Are you able to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good. So who can read? Like we do, 3 devotees can read.
I can try Prabhuji. Also wisdom
Please,
for
please.
অভ্যাসে অপি অসমর্থ অসি মৎ কর্ম পরম ভব মদর্থম অপি কর্মাণি কুর্বম সিদ্ধিম অবাপস্যসি.
Very nice, Prabhu. Devotees, 2 more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can read.
Sure.
12.10. Abhyasapya asamarthosi matkarma paramo bhava mad artham api karmani kurvam siddhim abhyapsasi. Back to Prabhuji.
Very nice, Mataji. Devotees, let us see. I'm not able to see many. Kush Modi. Hare Krishna. Who is Kush Modi?
Hello.
Hare Krishna.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Would you like to read, Prabhu?
What am I reading?
The verse 12:10. It is
Oh,
on
the
the
verse.
screen.
Oh, okay, okay.
If
I can
you are,
try, yeah.
yeah, if you want to, it is auspicious.
Abhyase abhyasmarato si mat karma parama bhava madartam api karmani kurvan siddhim avapyasi.
Very nice, Kush Prabhu. You did amazingly good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank
So,
you.
devotees, let us read the synonym and translation. Maybe our Pauli Mataji I'm seeing. Is it Pauli Mataji or Ranjan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm here with you.
Okay, can you read, Mataji?
Sure. Abhase in practice. Api, even if. Asamartha is unable. Asi, you are. Mat karma, my work. Parama, dedicated to. Bhaba, become. Mat astham. Mat dharm, for my sake. Api, even. Karmani, work. Kurvan, performing. Siddhim, perfection. Abhasapi, abhapasi, you will achieve. Prabhuji, do you want me to continue translation?
Yeah, a translation, please. Yeah.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, just try to work for me, because by working for me, you'll come to the perfect stage. Back to you, Prabhu.
Very nice, Mataji. This is very important, devotees. We can see this in our practical, you know, in ISKCON temples or any kind of bhakti groups. You can see this particular category of devotees who may not be very strong or completely following the bhakti yoga, the process per se, but they are really helping all the self-realization and the Krishna consciousness process. Let us see what Srila Prabhupada is talking about this. Who can read the purport, devotees?
Yeah, I can read from it.
Okay.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if they cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness. Or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. The voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one rise to the higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah. You want me to say?
Yes, yes. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So in this particular verse, uh, Krishna has come down uh, two levels from the top. So the first one is pure devotion to the Lord, to the Shamsundar form. The second one, he said, regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, uh, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and so on. And now he's, and then also under the guidance of a spiritual master. So uh, if you're not able to do any of that, then there are other ways of still uh, helping and getting into Krishna consciousness. So one can indirectly, in a way, indirect, but initially you have got to start somewhere. So you can work with, uh, for instance, in book distribution, uh, which is going on, which under the guidance of Subal Gopal Prabhu, and people can uh, participate in that, and that would be one example. Similarly, in Prasadam Seva, where you're serving the devotees, that's another example. And uh, another example is if people are wealthy and they can help in uh, maybe making a contribution, or in also if they're really wealthy, then help in building a temple and so on. So by doing all these activities, one gradually develops that and begins to understand by associating with the primary devotees what Krishna consciousness is all about, and by that association, he himself might uh, develop a taste and eventually keep moving up. So one other thing that's mentioned here is that the work that's done for materialism is all for sense gratification. We work for an employer, then there's a give and take mentality, and then he pays us, and it's to make a livelihood and for sense gratification. Then we might buy things and buy cars and this and that and so on. But here, the same capital can be uh, uh, redirected in a different way, uh, essentially do the same things, but that activity is really for Krishna, to build a temple or donate for the purpose of building a temple or building or whatever it is. So those are some other things, and that would be considered a spiritual activity. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhu. You have very nicely summarized the purport and the meaning of the verse. Devotees, shall we take a couple more reflection? This is very practical, devotees. We see this. There are some members, they may join, they may be little bit interested, enthused with, Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying, but they may not have been fully convinced. They may be thinking, what, this is all good, but I don't think this is the ultimate, there is something more, or they may just leave it little open. There are very practical, that's why Krishna's philosophy, Krishna is Rishikesha. He's the controller of the senses. And the purpose of all this creation, manifestation, is only one purpose ultimately: to purify our activities and reach the highest level, which is serving Krishna. That's it. Whether you do it today, whether you do it next tomorrow, or it may take several years, or maybe we have to take rebirth. Continue. Krishna is open. He's giving us unlimited chance, scope. But the question is that, are we intelligent enough? That's why he's saying in 12.8, if you can surrender your mind and intelligence. So if you do that, that's it. It is very fast. One thing that comes to my mind, one analogy, if at all, there is a medicine program, right? Somebody has to join the college, then they will take up the medicine program for 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is, then residency and so on. But there are some special colleges, they offer condensed program. You combine everything very fast, like a speedway, expressway. So you just join that line. For example, even we have a highway in Tampa, where if you want to go to the airport, there is a very speed expressway lane. If you're in Northdale, Maybury, you just take that express lane and you can just take the Eagleby airport. You don't have to follow the regular line. That doesn't mean that the other people who are driving on the regular lane are anyway inferior. It all depends on several factors: where you are born, what is your spiritual maturity, wavelength, which will be explained in 11 and 12. So, devotees, we have to be careful. A very mature person will understand all these different type of devotees. They're all devotees. We should not reject anyone. We should not condemn. We should not undermine any category, saying that, oh, he's not really chanting. Yes, chanting is very good. But is he doing other things? There was one devotee in the Kansas City temple, very much interested in Krishna consciousness, but he could not follow any of the things. We gave him the chanting beat, and he tried for about few days. One time, I think he chanted about 16 rounds. He was very happy, but he could not continue that. And he likes, kirtan, but he cannot sing. So things like that. But he could do two things. As Raghu Prabhuji was reading this purport, he helped the temple a lot. Anything, any program, any fundraising, he was the first one to write the check. He said that, Prabhu, I will give, very enthusiastically. Then at every Sunday, the love feast. After that, he would spend a good minimum an hour to maybe 90 minutes cleaning up the temple room. He will do it personally. He was a very, a little aged person, and with all sincerity, he used to do that. And I think that's what is Krishna is talking about in this verse. You may not be able to follow certain things. Some people may not be able to follow the 4 regulative principles. Maybe they are eating meat. I'm not saying that is recommended. But Krishna is saying, for some reason, they're not able to fit into 8. They don't fit into 9. They fit into 10 and 11. So we should not discourage them. We should not condemn and outcast them, because they're also devotees and they may be helpful in many, many ways. I think Srila Prabhupada is giving a very nice, where is that explanation here? Every endeavor requires land, capital, and labor, right? So devotees who fall into this category can help in those, which we may not be, some of us who are following the 4 regulative principles, we may not be able to do it. But that person may be able to do that because they got a lot of money. They'll say, okay, are you planning to buy a center? Are you planning to buy a property? I'll put some money, I'll help to build the temple. It is as good as you're following the regulative principle. And soon, once if they get more and more involved, they will also start following all the 4 regulative principles, the bhakti process, and eventually what is recommended in 12.8, complete attachment, developing complete attachment for Krishna. So very, very practical. I mean, it's wonderful, so inspiring. The Lord is so merciful. He's giving us all opportunities to realize and ultimately serve Him. So devotees, shall we take a couple more thoughts on this? Kush Prabhu, if I may ask, I'm not very regular. I don't participate all days. Is it the first time you are participating or you have been here before?
This is my second time.
Okay, very good, Prabhu. Are you from Tampa?
Yeah.
Very good, Prabhu. We are very glad you are able to participate. Would you like to share something on this or?
No, I mean, I think you covered everything.
Okay.
There's nothing that else. Yeah. And I try to do donations every now and then to clothes and stuff. Now, that probably counts as well.
Very good. Very nice. You are participating. That itself is a spiritual activity. Just getting association with other devotees and even a little bit, we talk about Krishna, we think about Krishna, that it's a spiritual activity.
Mm.
Anyone else? Vasant Prabhu, can we hear from you, Prabhuji?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam is beautifully explained, Prabhu. I really like it. Yeah, many of us might not be able to follow those 4 or 5 regulatory principles, but yes, Prabhuji, we should, as in Gujarati they say, tan man dhan, whatever we can do, Prabhuji, we should serve and we should expand our Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Haribol, Prabhuji. Devotees, we should remember the episode from Ramayana where the squirrel is also trying to help when they are Vanarasena is trying to build the bridge for Lord Rama. They are helping with big, big rocks. They are themselves for several pounds, 300, 400 pounds, very jamba ones, right? And the squirrel is so tiny, but the squirrel also wants to help. It's just picking up few grains from one end to the other end. And Lord Rama says both of them are equally very important. The purpose is to serve the Lord. How well we serve is what is Krishna consciousness, self-realization, God consciousness. So we should not undermine everybody, encourage everybody so that they come into the position where they reach the ultimate perfection. Baldev Sir Prabhu, any more thoughts? Bhashwati Mataji.
Nicely explained, Prabhuji. So this is very encouraging that whatever position they are in, we should encourage, because we also was in that stage of life. So everybody warmly and positively welcome, and definitely, as Krishna says here, they'll progress slowly in association and with increasing their Shukriti by serving and devotees. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. And devotees, another thing we have to analyze here is just because you fall into one category does not mean you're becoming perfect or advancing. Maybe you are following the four regulative principles. Maybe you are chanting, but are you becoming pure? Are you really becoming uh, fully for Krishna consciousness? That is what is more important. Otherwise, everything becomes a mechanical process. Okay, I'm chanting just for the sake of chanting, but out of 16 rounds, not even a few, chanting, we are thinking about Krishna, which is good. Chanting is very good. It's like a medicine. Knowingly, unknowingly, it gives you the same result. But what Krishna is talking about, how are we going to get into 12.8, where we get that, complete love for Krishna? It is said that when you do something mechanically, it is good, but it is something like the raw mango, what is called the green mango. And when that same thing becomes very loving, spontaneous, you really don't have to put any effort. That is called the ripe mango, Krishna Prema. Very sweet, very nectar, completely. That is what Krishna is talking about. But we all start. I'm still in maybe 10 or 11 or 12. I don't know myself. So we are all trying. That is good. But are we trying to do better? Are we advancing? That is why we need the association of senior devotees. Whenever Guru Maharaj all come, we should seek their association, their blessing. Devotees, there is a saying, beg, borrow, and steal. Have you heard that phrase, devotees? Beg, borrow, and steal. That means that particular effort, there is something very important that can be obtained by begging or by borrowing or even by stealing, if it's such a very good effort, ultimately, right? That is sometimes that phrase really is very applicable to Krishna consciousness. We have to beg for the association of the devotees. Prabhu, can I join this program? Can I somehow have your association? We have to borrow some of the time of the senior devotees because they're all busy. And what is stealing? Again, stealing is also stealing the time of acharyas. When all the Maharaj all come, they don't have time. They're traveling in a month, maybe 30 different cities. That 60 seconds, 2 minutes, if you can take the association of the Guru, some Maharaj, that is called stealing the time. So it is all in a positive way. We can apply that in Krishna consciousness. How we can borrow the knowledge of other devotees who have gone through this process. We should have that sincere desire. That's all about the Krishna consciousness process. How we cultivate, like a mother would take care of her child, how we build that spontaneous love for doing this, not by pressure, not as a mechanical process. Why not we take one more thought? Please share, devotees, anything that happened in your personal, you don't have to refer any particular name, but your experience.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam All Guru to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, so very beautifully, all of you are explaining this beautiful verse about person who may or may not be a devotee, but if he or she does the activities which will help in progress in Krishna consciousness, it's still considered as the beneficial for this bhakti path. And Lord Krishna is also telling here that if someone does not follow all the regulatory principles, still they can achieve. And here Prabhuji, in our congregation also there are some devotees who may not following all the regulatory principles, may or may not, no, I don't know, but they are very generous. And it's not like they are very rich, but always help, and always giving charities for ISKCON temple. So it's a big um, a big thing, Prabhuji, for this movement to move on. And also, Prabhuji, here it says about someone can do the sense gratification in Prabhupada, in his purport he's saying that someone can do sense gratification by spending money in the materialism, but if they can spend the same money towards Krishna's activity or spiritual activity, that will be very beneficial for their growth also. And that way they will also, if they not practice, it's fine, but through that spiritual activity they can become more Krishna conscious, because they will get that Agyata Shukriti, it's called in Bengal, it's called Agyata Shukriti. So through that they will get the benefit. So that's what I just would like to add, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Yeah, absolutely. Even we can see in our congregation, there are so many other temples that some of them may not really fall into like the per se what we think as a devotee. But Krishna is very nicely explaining it's not really so. All of them, this category is also a devotee who is donating money for building Vishnu temple, Krishna temple, is amazingly qualified, is as good as a perfect devotee. Otherwise, why would you give them to a Krishna center or a Krishna temple? Because he has got some, as I think Raghu Prabhu mentioned this, the devotional service can it can fall into two groups. One is direct, which is 8 and 9, is mostly considered as a direct. And also devotees, there is one very important difference between 8, 9, and 10. 8 and 9, Krishna is asking us to engage our subtle elements like the mana, mind, intelligence, consciousness. It's very important. Without that, really, you cannot surrender to Krishna. And in 10 and 11, he's going to tell her, if you cannot do that, if you cannot use our gross element, then subtle elements, can we utilize our gross elements physically? Can you help to do something for Krishna, some festival? One person that comes to my mind is the photographer, videographer who has been helping us for the last 2-3 festivals for ISKCON temple. He's doing an amazing seva. He could charge much more to ISKCON temple. Whatever, 4 hours, 5 hours, or 6 hours, but the enthusiasm, the sincerity, it's a very important seva for us because we need that. With that, whether it is a video or a photo, with that we can do outreach. So very important segment, but he's doing it very sincerely, selfless. So I think there are so many, we can keep on analyzing. Like Bhashwati Mataji also mentioned, if you just look at our congregation, each person, the volunteer, the students, they come and help us in many of our festivals. They could do something else on a weekend, Saturday or Friday or Sunday. They can go and party out, but at least they took that 4 hours, 5 hours to come and help, be engaged, be part of a Krishna consciousness event. That is what is Krishna is talking about there. Because at that moment, they're not doing this for sense gratification. Whether they know the full benefit, but they are doing it by their physical abilities. So we should encourage devotees, encourage the congregation if they're able to do. Let's not define a devotee just by what we know. If one is chanting only 16 rounds, then only is a devotee. We should not think like that. We should encourage them to do that, inspire them. But let us see what is their ultimate, mood if they're able to serve Krishna even indirect. Pali Mataji, any thoughts? Our Shalini Mataji is here. I apologize. I didn't see.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, I joined a little bit late today, Prabhuji. So I'm hearing today.
That's okay. Would you like to share something, Mataji?
I'll listen a little bit more, Prabhuji, then I can share.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. Okay, very good. Pali Mataji, would you like to share anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, I like to share one thought like when we participate in the different programs, we see Matajis, Prabhujis, they're always encouraging. That's also another way, like to participate different program or book distribution or like in the class. That is another way to say like people are trying to encourage others to know about Krishna, to get more confidence about knowing things. Like sometimes we don't go forward to do certain things, but Prabhujis and Matajis are encouraging to do a lot of activities like kirtan or serving, prasadam, something like that.
Absolutely, Mataji. Yeah, we should encourage, and participation itself is a seva. It's a very good spiritual activity. If somebody can participate physically, that's a great activity. Let us say we organize a program like Ram Navami or Janmashtami. If you don't get devotees, even if you do the best of the best, it doesn't serve the full purpose, right? So the audience who come, 400, 500, sometimes it is even 1100, 1200, they all fall into this category. They are devotees. They have somehow have taken whether it is physically or some commitment they have made that I'm going to go and participate. So we should encourage them and slowly bring them to the more regularized, more structured way of bhakti yoga. So devotees, let us also read. Are there any more comments before we get into 11?
Prabhuji, I have one thought, Prabhuji. So, like, when people come to our events, right, we have so many people, but in the classes that we have for Bhagavad Gita, there are fewer people, right? So, I don't know if everyone who comes there, they are aware of these classes. Should we try to like promote that a little bit more so that they get more opportunity? Once they come in the first event, then they can take advantage of these classes and learn more. Hare Krishna.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We try to do that. If you may have seen many of our Saturday programs, home satsang, we tried to mention about the Bhagavad Gita class, the japa session in the morning, and on the festivals also we announced that we have a daily japa session, daily Bhagavad Gita class. We try to do it, but we can also promote it in a much. We post every day. We post it in our WhatsApp group. But if you have some more thoughts how we can do it, please share. We will try to follow that. Yeah. Krishna says he's very pleased when somebody tries to spread his message. That devotee is very, very dear to Krishna. So
Thank you, Prabhuji.
outreach is a big part of Krishna consciousness, Mataji. That is Srila Prabhupada's mission. How can we spread Krishna's message? Otherwise, we all can sit in our home and we can read Bhagavad Gita by ourselves. We don't need any association or anything. But Srila Prabhupada said that it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction that in this Kali Yuga, this message can be only experienced and advanced only in a satsanga, sankirtan, sangha and kirtana. It's very difficult to do it alone. So how can we pass on this message to the overall world? is definitely outreach. We have to spread the message. Book distribution.
I will try to think about this a little bit more, Prabhuji, then I will get back to you.
Definitely.
Hare
If
Krishna.
Shalini Mataji can participate from Kolkata, why cannot be from ISKCON Tampa participate? That's the question, right, Mataji?
You all are very kind, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, devotees, let us briefly read 11. Let me see. It might be a little long, but I think we can do it. Devotees, why not we take turns? We have about 15 more minutes. We can get this done. Bhashwati Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita 12.11 अथैतदप्य अशक्तसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् अश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतत्मवान्. Back to you.
Very nice, Mataji. Shall we take two more?
Hare
Is
Krishna, Dandavad
iPhone?
Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I was just thinking about you. Zoom user meaning our Sham Prasad Prabhuji. Please
Thank
read.
you, Prabhuji. Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji. Ataita dapyashoktosि kartum madyogamasrita sarvakarma palatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhu. Mahesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. अथ दैप्यशक्तोषि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागतः ततः करो यतात्मवान्. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Kush Prabhu, would you like to read the synonyms and the translation?
Sure. Ata, even though, etat, this, api, also, asakta, unable, asi, you are, kartum, to perform, mat, unto, me, yogam, in devotional service, asritaha, taking refuge, sarvakarma, of all activities, phala, of the results, tyagyam, renunciation, tata, then, kuru, do, yata, atma, van, self-situated. If, however, you are unable to work in the consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Can read efficiently purport. We got only few more minutes left.
I can try, Prabhuji.
Okay, good.
It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or even many other duties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated results of his activities to do some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions for full moon day, and there is special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness, gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his action. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 18.46, we find it is stated, Yatah pravritti bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, very nice reading, Mataji. Would you like to expand a little more?
Sure, Prabhuji. So, what I'm understanding from here, Prabhupada is trying to explain that the best way is that if we can engage directly in Krishna consciousness, if that is not possible, then participating in Krishna related activities by somehow giving donation or doing any kind of service. But even if that is not possible, if one just sacrifices the results of the work that they are doing. So if they spend money in charity, whether it's like in a hospital or like giving to the poor, like any way in which they are not using the full results of their salary or whatever means that they are earning money, if they can spend that in some other activity for a cause other than for themselves, for sense gratification, then that will gradually bring them that will basically purify their mind, and gradually bring them to understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. I think I understood this much, Prabhuji. If you can explain more. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Yeah. So what Krishna is saying here, devotees, if you cannot do 8, if you cannot do 12:9, if you cannot do 12:10, then there is still a good opportunity if you can become selfless. Again, if you are in one of the categories in 9 and 10, but you have some ulterior motive, I want to become popular or I want to control in some way, I have some personal likings and disliking. Those are all not good for advancement. So Krishna is saying if you cannot do all those things, but at least fit into what is considered as a selfless, we see that there are so many social causes are being done. Schools, education, academia, hospitals, even building several centers, for different less privileged people. So all those are also, Krishna is saying if one can become selfless, automatically they will come to Krishna consciousness. It's almost the same. When you become selfless, you don't have any you are out of the sense gratification. Once if you are out of the sense gratification, you are very close to Krishna consciousness. Only thing is that you may not know Krishna's personality, you may not know his name, you may not be able to chant his holy name, but that's okay. That is when Krishna will send you somebody like a Guru Maharaj or some senior devotee that will change your life completely. As we could see when Prabhupada came to USA, the American hippies, they didn't know about Krishna. They have never heard about Krishna. But maybe they have done all these things. They have done 12:11 in their previous karma. They were just waiting for an intervention from a pure devotee, which is Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada came within very, limited time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Thousands of people were able to understand what Srila Prabhupada is saying because they had already reached the selfless status. So it's very practical. Otherwise, who can explain so many thousands of devotees in the mid-60s, right? All the hippies, they didn't know anything about God. They didn't know anything about Krishna. They could not read Sanskrit. How could those, group, they become the top-notch devotees, the A-class, the first-class devotees. They've all fall into the 12-8. They have surrendered their mind and their intelligence. How are they able to do it? Because they already reached the status of selfless realization. So that is also important. That is needed. So we have to, even when we are in Krishna consciousness devotees, like aspiring Krishna consciousness, like me, we should always see that how I can become selfless. Even there is a tinge of some ulterior sense gratification, it's going to spoil the entire Krishna consciousness advance. It's like dropping a drop of poison can spoil the entire container of kheer or milk. So we got to be very careful. That is why association is very important. Our taking prasadam is very important. Tongue, acharyas have said, tongue is the primary physical tool that you have to control. What can we control the tongue? We can chant the holy names. We can talk about Krishna. Then we honor prasadam. If the tongue is not being properly used, if you are going to be talking about all anarthas, unwanted things, non-Krishna consciousness oriented thing, that's going to be completely, big downfall in your advancement. And then tongue, what are we going to eat? Am I going to eat anything and everything that has been given to me or I see? Or I'll take only those that have been offered to Krishna. So very practical, very logical, and a fantastic explanation by Srila Prabhupada. Devotees, why not we take one more comment and then maybe we can conclude today's discussion. Push Prabhu, anything you want to say, just based on whatever your experience?
My experience is very limited since I'm so young, but no, but like you mentioned, controlling the tongue. In my generation, kids, language is a big issue. Cursive language and stuff, right? It's in music. So staying away from that will, can help the youth.
Very nice, Prabhu. That's a good reflection. Yeah. Today's language that we see, even from leaders, the political leaders, their language, their demeanor, their gestures is of a very low quality. Their communication, the words they use is not, is not the Vedic culture. The Vedic culture, as we can see even in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but he is addressing Arjuna in such a very nice way, very encouraging, very inspiring way, right? He would say Dhananjaya. In one of the previous verses, he says Dhananjaya. Then he is calling him as Gudakesha. Very elevating. That is inspiring. That is what a leader should do. And today's, the language, like you mentioned, the music, and some of the music, the lyrics are all so bad, so much of filled with hate and violence. We don't need that, because ultimately we all belong to one source, Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Prabhu, any thoughts?
I think everything has been well said. Yeah, I think in this particular approach, by doing social service and community service and so on, people gradually, they feel that they're giving their time for some useful cause. So at least that feeling starts developing. So once they have that feeling, then maybe then they will get to the next level. First they're compassionate to all the people that they're serving, and then they might get to the next level of how there's a God and how we can, and everything is the people whom I'm serving are not so well to do, and I'm being given this opportunity to serve them. So maybe the realization will come gradually. and then they will, move on higher up. That's my thought.
Very nice, Prabhu. As Krishna is explaining, this entire process is just to purify ourselves. That is the purpose of karma. Karma yoga means to purify your activity and reach the perfect state. Vasant Prabhu, please.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Just wanted to share before we end our today's session. We are going to India. Rasamruta is getting second initiation by His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj, most likely on a day of Christmas. So please bless her with your mercy and blessings, Prabhuji. She has sent prayers to all our devotees, lotus feet. Please, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Haribol. So Mataji is getting second initiation this December 25th.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Oh,
Prabhuji. In
Haribol,
India, we are
Haribol.
going to Pune. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Oh, Haribol, Prabhu. And where will this happen, Prabhu?
Pune,
Oh, Pune. Oh.
Maharashtra.
Oh, Haribol, Prabhu. Our Dandavats and pranams to Mataji and all goes to Guru Maharaj. This is very auspicious. Very nice, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
If you're planning to visit the southern part of India or Delhi, will get connected, Prabhu. Right now, I'm in India for the next 2-3 weeks. So,
Yes, Prabhuji. We were planning to go to Vrindavan, but we'll see how it goes with this
sure.
all flight, the Indigo.
Right.
Whatever
Yes.
Krishna's mercy, whatever Krishna says, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, we shall conclude now. And the next one, which will be tomorrow, Krishna is also talking about one more option, which is also very interesting. He's asking to almost the synopsis of the past 4-5 verses, He's asking, if you cannot do any of these, he's saying do meditation, increase your knowledge, and renunciation, surrender everything to the highest cause. So devotees, with that, we will conclude tonight's discussion, and we will get connected tomorrow. Enjoy your remainder of the evening with Krishna consciousness. I will conclude now. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhya vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. ISKCON Tampa Sankirtana ki jai. ISKCON Tampa Bhagavad Gita study ki jai. All glorious assembled devotees. Haribol devotees.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji and Mataji.
Haribol.
Guru Vishwasya Prabhupada.